top 1%, top 500. We got the scores, the action, and everything you need to know for error busters here to repeat, three-peat, and become a top contender in this particular event. Thank you for tuning in today as we break down the strategy objective of this and give you all the key tips and tricks for you to be successful. We've already gone through one guide. Everyone's loved that. I said I was coming back, and we're coming back with the best of the best to make you number one. So thank you for tuning in. As always, down below, you'll find the timestamps as I walk through a lot of the stuff that I just discussed, primarily why I'm so into this event, because it is so fair and balanced that anyone can get here, and why I'm so excited to share all this information with you here today. Additionally, we'll go for a run with the team, and we'll pull it all back together as we always do. So with that, thank you for tuning in. We got great ways to support the channel down below, and if you got a question, if you got a comment, do let me know, because I love to hear from you as always, and come swing by the Discord server. All right, so here's what we got going on. First and foremost, again, why am I doing this? This event is so balanced, and here's one of the key reasons. We cannot use any of our cookies. So if you're a free-to-play player, this is one of the events you should be working really hard on. A, participation. B, we're going to give you everything else that you need to know to be successful here in a minute, so hang with me. Second, players will all have the same stats, same cookies, fixed levels, and nothing else is affected. You only get the season cookies. Beautiful. That is so beautiful. Yes, I'm going to say that one more time. Beautiful. Play to play, or free to play players, pay to play players, it's even Steven. Yes, and that's the way it's going to be. That is why I like this event so much. I've spent a lot of time on this. It's put a lot of thought into it, and I'm going to share all that knowledge with you here right now. So first and foremost, a couple of key things. Your protocols here will continue to level up. I don't know actually how many yet, so stay tuned for that. However, a couple of key tips and tricks. I focus first and foremost on attack. Okay, so that's where we're at 11. I believe, and this is part of my strategy we'll talk about here in a second, is focusing primarily on attack, burning your enemies down as fast as you can, is going to be key to your success. At a certain point, more HP really isn't going to matter, to be honest. It will make your less performing cookies better, yes, but overall the whole goal is going to be burning things down as fast as possible, because it gets down to timing. That's right. HP might affect some of the cookies differently. However, that is going to be the key piece. The next one that you're going to want to focus on that you don't see me do a lot yet, however, as we continue to stay towards the top, we're going to have to build more into this, which is certainly crit. Yes, the crit damage. We're going to need to do this because it's going to blow through enemies even faster. So right now, think about this as a balanced attack into the crit damage attack in order to maintain and speed through outside of the randomness of our cookies and the randomness of the bug fixes. So that's going to be very, very important as we continue to progress. I'm going to again focus on these two ones. If they're capped, we'll go through and we'll clear everything. That's the way I would prioritize these pieces as you kind of think through it. And we did talk about some of that in the other guide. So here is some of the other new stuff that's very important. So obviously we have the season cookies. One thing I do want to point out is I know many of you in the Discord server have joked, and also in the comments, whoever's going to get the queen here, that cheese, the golden cheese, is going to just crush this. I will say this. I think it's actually more important to get pure vanilla and have one single healer in order to be successful, and really think about top tier damage dealers, which I found to bring this guy, Clotted Cream, as well as Sorbet for single focus towards the front, and actually grabbing all three super epics are great and amazing. You can get other damage in here at the top too. I've ran a successful one here with Dark Cacao in the front, and then I have liked Frost Queen and have yet to run a successful one or have actually get Dark Pearl here. So those ones are very important to some of your strategies you want to think about swapping. Some things to be aware of that I think can be a trap is running into trying to do the double light or poison. Again, depending on how your build is, keep that in mind. I also think our friend here, burnt cheese cookie, can also sometimes be a trap, so just be careful. Again, don't get it fall into the trap for burnt cheese, as well as golden cheese here, because it's actually too quick, and we're going to talk about that here in a second. The other pieces here again is really focusing on damage dealers. Faster you can get out of the commons and rares up into your epics is going to make a huge difference, and we're going to talk a little bit more of some of that strategy here in a second as well. So when we break down our runs, there's a couple things to think about, and then we're going to get into some of the records here. First and foremost, there are 12 different runs. So you're going to run 3 enemy groups and a boss. 3 enemy groups, a boss, 3 enemy groups, and a boss. First one's going to be our friend Schwarzwalder. Second one is going to be Baklava Moth, I believe. And then the third one is a massive desert worm. That's right, fitting for where we're at. That thing is brutal. You want to make sure you burn it down. As you're kind of progressing through this, what you'll find is initially you're going to really kind of struggle to even get past Schwarzwalder, depending on your teams and depending on some of the strategy that you employ here. However, as you shift gears and start to really knock this down, as we discussed in the first guide, it's going to make a huge difference. Now the nitty gritty happens in terms of high score ranking. Now let's go ahead. It's going to keep your top 10 here for you, which is very important for you to go back and look. You can see I have successfully ran through this twice. That's right, a 264 second and a 222 second, which is amazing. That is how we got into the 363. At one point this was top 200, by the way, which is amazing, and I'm very happy about this, and we're going to talk through each of these pieces. So as you can see, some of my strategy has definitely been, like I said, a PV one healer. I've done a double heal, depending on what I ended with, and sometimes this was what I would call being captured or stuck into the build. However, what you'll see here is Wildberry's great. Also, our friend Capsation, like I discussed, is great here on the front. Those runs have tended to be some of the best for me. And again, some of these may have been earlier when I wasn't as high on some of the other stats. Now, the other thing that I found to work out really well is Clotted Cream is great and deals a ton of damage, a ton of AoE. Sorbet is good. The one thing with him is that it's really great on bosses. So depending on when you may have him or flip into that, again, this is the final team, not the team that I necessarily started with. Now, the other piece that I found to work really well, as you can see here, we actually had some good runs with Affogato, Captain Caviar, our friend Pumpkin here, and then also Latte here. So the debuff is a key piece that you can not forget in terms of making your enemies weaker, as well as dealing significant damage to really make a key difference. So that is one thing I think players can forget at times, that can really open things up. The next thing that you're going to see here is collecting each of the bug fixes. These ones in gold are all the key top ones. As you can see, that is how amazing that bug fix run was for me. I only picked one common. Ridiculous. When we look at this one, we only picked one common and 2 non-common or rares, as we'd like to look at it. Now, some of that strategy for me, and here again, it's not quite the same, but close in terms of getting there. Some of that strategy for me is really predicated, again, around attack, around damage. You want crit, you want the more damage to bosses. So again, you can see my heavy focus on crit, particularly walking in the last wave to burn down that boss, which is going to make a huge difference there. Some cool ones that I really enjoyed. There's a meteor one. That's a lot of fun. I've seen a dragon one as well. Let's see if there's the bone dragon. We also get meteors in there, and a lot of other cool things. Here's the damage to the boss plus 25%. That makes a big difference. So I wanted to walk through some of these things. You can see the teams that I've specifically built to make it through. Again, I've actually had golden cheese here twice. and only once has it performed at this level. Again, minus some of the protocol changes here, making up for a little bit of the difference. But as you can see, this is where we ended. Only 3. You get to really 4+ like this. Going to make a huge difference for you. You get to PV in the back, makes a huge difference for you as well, in terms of where you're going. So sometimes, again, we get stuck on the double heal. We got stuck on the double heal here, but it worked. I don't necessarily like to go that route. However, again, depending on what you're at, you got to maneuver and think through. So that, again, is the key tips and tricks in terms of getting to the top 1%. We're going to run through this live for you so that you can see that. I wanted to walk through again why this is fair and balanced, how you should think about the protocol upgrades, my rankings and records, so that you can see some of the teams that I built in order to get by, and then how you want to think about the bug fix effects in order to strengthen your team and be a little bit more successful. So we got enough for 3 runs. Let's see if we can get through and replicate and 3-peat, as we like to call it here, all the way through. All right, here we go. Now, the other strategy that is going to be an important one here, as we stare at this, is you do want to use your load effects here. Once you get through 10 runs, you're going to have that opportunity to refine. I like this because we have Herb. I like Herb as a healer. I like Queen Amon in the front. I don't feel like this is going to be enough great damage right away. So let's go ahead and reload. We do run a risk of getting something worse. Now, this isn't terrible. We got 2 kind of AoE damage dealers. We got a debuff on the front. We got a healer, and we have a bomber cookie. I'm going to run this one so we can save 4 of the reloads still for the other 2 runs. But this is how you want to think through your teams and how you want to think through some of your builds. Don't feel like you don't want to use them. You should absolutely feel like you want to use those in order of being successful. We're going to throw everything on speed here. Now, again, we do have the 1 healer, which is important, the debuff to get through. Now, again, not quite enough damage relative to what I was hoping. Amplify buff, no. We can go reflect damage with stuns, 2 or more in fire type. Not really anything great for us. We're going to go with this one here. And try and click some of the heals sometimes in between the runs. That's going to help you with some of that survivability. Allies gain an HP shield equal to 25% whenever a ranged or ambush cookie deals skill damage. Enemies receive. So we got a range in here that can be helpful. Allies gain an HP shield. Our stuff isn't great right now. I do like to focus on attack though. So let's go here. Now here we get a swap. This is a great swap. We're going to trade up from the Angel into PV. Any of this stuff that's glitching is definitely a plus. So we're going to grab PV. This can make a huge difference for us now. Now again, still a little bit slow in terms of how fast we're taking these down. We got summon creatures up, summon creatures attack. I like to stay off that. Fire type's not really going to help us right now. We'll grab it though. And then here's an in-between heal. Now, this guy can be tough if you're not getting the right stuff through. Zapped is making a big difference for us. And again, defense down makes a huge difference for us in taking this boss out. One of the big ones we're going to want to swap is our gumball one right there. Ranged and ambush cookies. Again, attack plus 20%, cooldown minus 10. Light, we're not going to get suckered to. Remove all enemies buffs 10 seconds after the wave, plus shield. Let's grab this one again. Focus on attack. Now we can swap. I don't like the other swaps necessarily as much. Space Donut's okay. I still want to stick with this debuff here. So we'll stay here. And again, we haven't hit the luck factor in terms of a lot of stuff here. So we'll see if we can pull through this, which is going to be tough. Here we go, finally. So cookies crit at 30%, ally cookie with the highest max HP. We don't want that one. We want cookie crit at 30%. Now again, this is where you want to build into the damage because it's going to make a huge difference for you. There we go. Let's drop a heal. All right, so here we can get off the bomber cookie. We can get a second healer. I like that. We can go with herb. I like herb as a secondary. Obviously Carol Cookie is a fun one too, but let's go with herb for now. Maybe we'll be able to swap that one out. So we're not as on high of attack as I was hoping to be on. There we go. Gain 1500 for hitting an enemy with a skill. Triggers once. We want this one. Hopefully we can get a heal off here. We're going to run into a problem with this guy, I feel like. There we go. Baklava Moth, I was right, is the dreamer. There we go. So good news is we're still in it. We're gained a little bit back here. Come on, herb cookie. Keep everyone alive. One more hit. Oh, it's so close. So close. Stay alive. Oh. If we would have, we were right there. We were right there. Last hit. Just super, super unlucky there. Didn't quite get as far as we wanted. We did have a little bit there. Let's exit. We're going to apply these and go for another run. So we'll add on the crit damage. That's going to help us as we continue to progress. Definitely not a record there for us, unfortunately. No dice. No dice. Actually, I take that back. It was right here. 7. There you go. All right, let's go again. So there you can see the difference between these right here, the bug fix effects. We did fairly well. So as you can see, as things progress there, you might get a little bit better over time just due to the rest of the statistics that you have here. Things that you're buffing up, another 200 will help us on the HP. If we would have had that, maybe we could have got through Baklava Moth as an example. All right, let's go through it again. I do not like this one. We can do a reload, so you can constantly reload, so you might as well use all 5. This one I like. So we got a debuff, we got a defense cookie, we have a heal cookie, and then we got 2 good ones there in terms of damage. Let's go ahead and do it. Now again, no problem in aggressively mulliganing, as I'd like to say there. So there we go. I like that. Reflect, healing cookie when you have 2 or more poison type. Let's go with this for now. Now you can think about building some of that stuff a little bit differently. There we go. Ranged and ambush. There we go. We can do that. Healing. Earth type. Let's go range and ambush. Help Sorbet. We're going to stick with this one, because she was a part of my top team. Again, makes a huge difference on the debuffs. Golden cheese cookie will stun nearby enemies for 5 seconds upon a revival. Do we have golden cheese? Don't fall for the trap. This one you want. Now, see how much faster we went through that guy. Cookie amplify buffs, debuff resist. So we could do that. 2 or more when an allied summon creature is defeated. We don't really have an allied summon creature. We're not going to focus on that. We might try this one. You could pick all those though. Here's defense. I like Madeline in the front. However, Milk Cookie's doing a decent job. Again, I also like our friend right here, Wildberry, so I'm actually going to switch to Wildberry. Because I like all the pushback. There we go. Extra damage or summon a Bone Dragon. I think we're going to go with the Bone Dragon. All right. Now again, see how fast we're clearing the waves because of the debuffs that Latte is applying, which is a huge one. We're going to keep Sorbet because he's amazing for taking down bosses. And again, just like that, boom, gone. Allies gain immunity from all debuffs. Charge and defense cookies cause burn damage. Push back nearby enemies and stun 1 second when that gets low. I like the 2%. I also like gain immunity from all debuffs for 10 seconds. Let's go with immunity because that might deal us a little bit better. All right, Baklava Moth. This is much faster. We need some bigger heals though. We may not have to worry about it though. If we can burn them down fast enough. There we go. Again, null debuff resist. Very, very nice. And again, we're still in it and doing very well. We're going to stick with Wild Berry. There's a good heal. Uh-oh. Here we go. Okay. A little bit more of a challenge. Defense and range cookies gain 80% attack speed. Range and ambush cookies deal an extra damage equal to 50% attack with lower health. We're going to go with this one. Defense and ranged. Because that fits our group better. There we go. That one can be a tough one. We want to heal. Ooh. So we're going to get a heal through here. I'm actually thinking we switch to Parfait here right at the end. Or we could switch to... Ooh, that's tough. I'm going to actually go with this. Cream Puff. This could be a problem one though. We'll see. There we go. Summon meteor damage. Yes, I love that one. All right, wave 12. We'll see if we can get through this. We're a little light on health going into it. That was one of my key fears, by the way. It is possible we can still get through this sandworm. Nope, it's not possible. Too much damage down. We probably should have went with Parfait Cookie there. Might have been the right choice. Let's watch our dragon battle out the worm. Look at that. Come on. Come on. You can do it, dragon. You're taking 100,000 off every time. 50. Oh, it's close. So close. So that was a good run. Maybe one little tweak there towards the end. Now we did get some more tickets. So now this time we could go up. Let's go a little bit more on the health. There we go. And let's grab one more on the crit. All right. We got one more run in us. Maybe we can make it all the way through and set a new record. We'll try it one more time. This one I like again to start, but we're going to get a little bit more risky. We'll see. I like having Captain Caviar in there. I like having Sorbet, and I like the heal. Queen Almond's good. This one, not so much. Let's go ahead and take another loadout. That one is not as good. I do like Latte, though. It's a huge one I enjoy, like we said. Not as good. We do have 2 lights. Take another loadout. Ooh, we have Hollyberry up front. This might be worth hanging on to just because we have Hollyberry. The problem here is the damage isn't great. Do we stick to Hollyberry or do we flip because the damage isn't great? Ooh, that's tough. That's tough. We might have a slower run though. I'm going to try it because I haven't ran it with Hollyberry. We could use 2 more loadouts, but let's go for it. Little weaker on the team, so hopefully we can swap those ones out. We'll find out if we survive long enough. So you can see how much longer it's taken us to clear this wave. Way too long for the first wave. Target suffers from crit damage 1% upon critical hit. This one's tricky. I'll go with that. Now, see, again, we're just not clearing this stuff fast enough. That's why Latte is such an important piece of that run, and the strategy is very important. Whenever a charge defense, Cookie gains a shield. Let's go with that. All right, here we go. We can swap. I'm going to go for damage here. Should hopefully help us. We need to get these two moved out. We can summon damage, rare cookies, charge defense. Let's go with the devil cookie because we need damage. Now again, look at how much slower we're taking this guy down, unfortunately, relative to the last time. There we go. Let's go gain attack. Finally, we get a better one of those as well. Here we go. We're going to keep Hollyberry because we made that choice. Now we're running. No problem with the back line. It's so important to clear these things. Here we go. Extra damage, attack per wave. There we go. We're still in it. Ooh, not good choices. We're gonna stay here. I really needed our muscle guy to get pulled out. Summon Meteor. This is the one that I wanted. I like the Meteor. Gonna help us on some damage. This one's gonna be close. I don't know if we're gonna get through Baklava Moth here. We just don't have enough damage output and the right healers. Oh, Hollyberry is done. Hollyberry is a great tank, though.
I'm sorry.
No dice. All right. Well, unfortunately, we did not three-peat in our top 1%. However, we did share all the key tips and tricks in order to help you get there and things to consider and think about, and then wanted to apply those to action. We did get to the final boss, though. We just weren't able to wipe it, unfortunately. But that is CookieRun at its finest, as we like to say. Regardless of the situation, we had a great team right here. Again, maybe that swap on this one might have made a difference if we would have went with Parfait instead with the healing over time versus Cream Puff for a big heal. So keep those things in mind for the future. We did have 4 again in terms of key effects in order to kind of get there. However, look at that time. We're still very slow relative to some of those key pieces. And again, why damage is so important in terms of trying to get up there and how you're going to navigate. I highly recommend, again, Latte is a great cookie. Clotted Cream, definitely Caviar. You saw how Pumpkin in there did some work. And then also our healer strategy here with PV. If there is one ancient legendary that you want, it's PV. So with that, I hope you enjoyed today's episode. I hope you enjoyed today's top 1% guide for error busters. Again, we gave you all the tips and tricks to be successful and get a repeat of what I've had, and then continue to work through here on your protocols in order to constantly up that needle, up your game, up your runs for your cookies. Make sure you're participating in the battles. That's going to make a big difference for you. And again, it's a very fair event for free-to-play players and everyone else. So with that, I hope you enjoyed today's guide. Again, questions, comments, do let me know. Let me know where you're at. I love to hear from you. I look forward to improving this, by the way, too. And additionally, on top of that, I just want to say thank you. Thank you for your support. Appreciate the likes and the subs. On top of that, we got memberships, something for everyone, great entry tiers. You get emotes, icons, all kinds of cool stuff. Check it out. We got some fun things there. And if you got a question, if you got a comment, let me know. Again, like I said, come swing by the Discord server and say hello. Other great ways to support the channel down below, and great ways to stay in the know. We also have affiliate links. Check some of those out. It's a good way to support. If you like the fan art stuff, I do a ton of that here on the channel. We got stuff for that you can check out that I recommend, that I use actually. So with that, we'll see you again soon. Best of luck. I'm hoping to see you all up there at the top 1%. If you get up there and see my guide, let me know, because I'd love to hear it from you. And on top of that, I want to see you in that ranking scoreboard right here, gaining these season rewards right here as well. Now, with that, we'll see you again soon. Best of luck. Until next time, Mythras out of here. May you do the best with the Airbusters. See you soon.